I'm Toby. I made this website, and now I want to thank you first for clicking on this and actually getting this far. And more importantly, I want to get into talking about why I made it and what it does. Why I made it has a simple answer and a few more complex answers. I made it because I needed it. We all could be better teachers. And there was a time about 3 years ago that I realized I was good at teaching words, but I was not great at reviewing them. And I tried different strategies. What I learned was that a vocab list you can get off the internet did not work for me. After I prepared and taught a really great hotel lesson covering making your reservation and checking in and complaining about your room, all the things that you do in a standard hotel lesson, I didn't have the energy to then create an extra review worksheet while I was at the same time preparing my next lessons. So what I did was I got somebody else's hotel lesson off the internet and used that as a review, and it didn't work. Invariably, important words that we wanted in our lesson were not there, and words that I hadn't taught were on the review activity, and then it's no longer a review, it's a whole new lesson. Even more, I wanted our vocabulary. If you look at the students and me as a team, we do our lesson on hotels, and we don't just talk about hotels, we talk about the weather, because we booked this great hotel and it had a balcony, but it rained the whole time, and it rained so much. Oh, it was raining cats and dogs. It was pouring. You get into some weather vocabulary and you want to add that to our review. And that's on nobody's pre-prepared hotel vocabulary worksheet. And even if you get aside from the hotels and weather, but also, what's the word? The German word is Sicilian. We went to that island right by, it's in Italy, and oh, you mean Sicily. Right, to Sicily. A lot of vocabulary from destinations. And I can either do all of Europe or just what my students needed. I wanted vocabulary only for our group. And last, I wanted structure. In the midst of preparing lessons and learning students' names and reading the manuals that their companies sent me of their products to understand what the products did, the structured review got lost. Maybe you do it better, I didn't do it great. So I made this, and that brings us to what it does. It manages classroom vocab. That's the first thing. You sign up, you create an account, and in that account you say, I'm adding a group, and this group learned these words. How you do it, if you say 6 words per lesson, means 12 words every 2 weeks. You can do the classroom dictionary strategy. You can say any word I put on the board. How you choose which words is up to you, but you add them, and they're only for this classroom. And from that vocabulary list, it creates, here it is, that word structured again. That was really important to me. It creates structured worksheets and review activities. What's a structured worksheet? Well, we had a hotel vocabulary last week. This week we come together again And we get from the hotel to sightseeing, and we get into museum and cafe and shopping, and for some reason the guy in the back corner is difficult and he goes to haberdashery. Who needs that word? But it's a word, you teach it because chacham vocabulary, and then you add that vocabulary to the list. The next time you make a worksheet, what happens is the hotel vocabulary that previously was in the first activity of the worksheet now rotates to the second page activity, and then the vocabulary from sightseeing is on the first page. That means that for a standard 2-page worksheet, the vocabulary shows up twice. If you're teaching in Germany, which I don't know if I recommend it, but I do it, you can add translation matching. That means that the vocabulary is on there 3 times. But after that, with time, you have this whole long list of vocabulary that has been on a worksheet 3 times, and you can create a memory game, or a very similar to memory, dominoes, crosswords, or word searches. There's a weird vocab puzzle that I can't really explain, but it brings back the vocabulary one more time. And so you have all these extra things, either for, I use these a lot, the crosswords, word searches, and vocab puzzles. I use frequently when we're gonna miss a lesson. We're taking off 2 weeks because Christmas is coming. I print an extra page of homework and say, try this. These are all words we learned. Can you still do it? And the last thing all this does, and this is important, it uses your branding. It might seem like a really minor thing, but you're coming into your classrooms with worksheets from ESL Library, from the ISL Collective, maybe from Learn English Feel Good. You have all of these different worksheets with different websites on the header and the footer. You don't need your students to think you only print things off the internet. And so, you create your own heading. My name's on it nowhere. My name's occasionally in the examples, but they don't know that. Ideally, use the same header for other worksheets you make by hand for your classes, and it gives your students the impression that you're investing a lot more effort than you are. It's not no effort. I'm not going to pretend like it's nothing. But it definitely amplifies the efforts you invest, gives you credit for all of it, gives you the advantage of the structure that I was just struggling to provide on my own, and lets you use the vocabulary you taught, not my idea of what is hotel or sightseeing vocabulary, but instead the vocabulary that comes organically out of your lessons. So, what do you do from here? In the best case, you sign up, you give it a try, and you love it, and at some point I take your money. I guess in the best case, you give me money for nothing. So in the second best case, you try it, you love it, and at some point, I take your money. In the third best case now, on this ridiculous priorities list, you try it, you think it's okay, but it's not worth the money, and you never use it again, but you send me an email and say, hey, you know what, all of this is okay, but what about, this is what I could think of. If you can think of more, I'll add it. Yeah. Give it a shot. Tell me if it works for you the way it works for me. It has taken my lessons, it hasn't revolutionized them, but the thing I was working hardest at 3 years ago, the vocab review, is now the thing that my students think I do best. I have more to work on. I probably will not make websites for those things as well. So this is the one-time website I'm making, but hopefully it works for you too. Let me know.